God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up. God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up, level up, level up, go. Everything, that means everything. Eyes connected to everything. And that's why, I'm in everything. All eyes on me, all eyes on everything. That means everything. Eyes connected to everything.
It's a wonderful Tuesday out here. What is going on, peoples? What is going on? Hey, how's the weather out there where you guys are?
Pretty good.
How's the weather?
It's nice here.
Yeah,
it's decent here.
Because I just heard that Mr. King Newborn is going through a snowstorm, and I'm like, what? In May?
No, not right now. I went through one. Yeah, I went through one. I did. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Get it out. I didn't like it.
I don't like
in
that.
May. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
like
welcome to the West Coast. Welcome to the West Coast. That's how they hit, bro. Not even playing. Hey, seriously, if you're out here tuning in, thank you for tuning in. Welcome to Things That People Don't Want to Talk about. I appreciate you showing up today on this beautiful Tuesday. It's going to be a really interesting conversation today, one that's near and dear to the heart. But while we are waiting for the illustrious Miss God Level Renee to pop in, let's do some introductions. Let's start with Mr. Master John Skywalker, the Slide Talker. Introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah, so the name is John Skywalker, the Slide Talker, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and I'm a father who has 5 hip-hop albums streaming on all major music platforms right now. We got Dimensions, Higher Dimensions, Final Dimension, Light Benders. That's a collaborative album with me and my homeboy Andre Black. And I have The Law of Affirmations. If you like affirmations, if you don't even know what they are, you should go check that album out. The Law of Affirmations, John Skywalker is the name. Salute.
I never knew that you did an affirmations album. You know, Little John did one too. I can just imagine him just being like, yeah, after affirmation.
That was affirmations album? No, he did a meditation out. He did a meditation album, right?
Yeah, he did meditation. He had affirmations on there. He had meditation with affirmations on there. That's hot. Yeah, I was like, that's hot. So I would love to cop that. Go out there and cop that because he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 albums. Hey, go ahead and introduce yourself, Miss AP. Let them know, baby. Let them know.
Hey, I'm AP. I'm a pharmacy technician of 20 years, July. So I've been doing that for a long time. I have a not-for-profit organization, Sisters Empowerment House, where we'll be working with the kids and the youth in the community. And look who we got coming in.
Hi.
Hello.
Look at that.
I am so sorry for my tardiness. It seems like every time I get ready to get out of there, I always get like either a new admit or a readmit. And it's like, love the hat, Aaron.
Yes, a friend of mine designed this hat right here. Yeah, so go cop your hat at God Level. What's the website? Because a friend of mine designed this hat.
It's coming up right
logo.
now. Oh my God, thank you. I appreciate that. Her dad bought 2. She got 2 for her dad.
No, he got every single color.
Every color.
And the black one seems to be his favorite now. But you can't tell him the other day. He was like, "What's my hat? What's my hat say? That's how I move."
Girl, I know, I'm probably working up on a free one.
Right. Yeah, he got red, white, black, and blue. And I stole the white one.
Because I still ain't got the first one, but I ain't complaining.
Right, you just explain it.
I mean,
don't encourage him. Don't encourage him. Do not encourage him. I am so sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Well, since we're talking about God level, why don't you go ahead and
bring yourself in, girl?
Yeah, bring yourself
cool.
in.
This is God Level from Things That People Don't Want to Talk About. I want to thank you for jumping in on tonight's live. First things first, this is May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So every podcast that we will be doing this month is geared toward mental health, and we're coming through the door with how to be there for someone who is suicidal. Now back to me. I am a mother, I'm a nurse, I'm an entrepreneur, I have a podcast, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, I'm an aunt, I'm a Gigi, I am everything good. All
Yes,
right,
you
who are we
are.
on now?
Beautiful. That was
Who are we
beautiful.
on
That
now?
was beautiful.
Thank
That was
you.
beautiful. Well, I'm just gonna jump in since I threw you out there.
Oh,
Peace,
Might as
peace, peace. Good evening, all. Happy Tuesday. Happy
yes.
Tuesday. I am King Newborn. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Newborn Everything. I am that I am. I just want to throw one little small thing out there. On top of the fact that I am of service, I challenge any and everybody. Pick somebody new to give a hug to. Peace.
Mm,
I like that.
that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that.
absolutely. And yeah, I got that. Yeah, I got that PC, John. Yeah, let's go for it tonight. How are we going to kick? Well, John, where's our questions at?
Oh,
You know, you
we
keep us.
already just. All right, cool. We're gonna go into it. Let's start off with
Yeah,
Let's get it.
before we get started, disclaimer. All right.
Okay.
Before we begin, we want to emphasize that the information provided in this episode is intended for educational purposes only. It shouldn't be used as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnoses, or treatment. So if you or someone you know is in a crisis or experiencing thoughts of suicide, you need to seek help immediately from a mental health professional. Contact the crisis hotline 988 or dial emergency services 911, right? Remember, you are not alone, and there is help available. And so now let's dive into today's discussion. Our first question is, what is suicidal ideation? Now, I'm posing this question because there is suicidal ideation, right? That's in your thoughts. That's your thoughts, fantasies. And then there's suicide intent. They're not necessarily the same thing. It's just like you can have an image of something, but that doesn't mean you necessarily desire it. You can just be thinking about it. All right. So we want to make sure that we're clear in what we're dealing with here when it comes to suicide. So suicide ideation tends to deal with the mind. So when you're talking about suicide thoughts, it can be fantasies. It could be just this preoccupation with suicide. It can be just, fleeting considerations, or it could be detailed plans. You could be like, all right, I would do it like this, and it would happen like this. It would be on this day. I would clean this up. You're thinking. You're just thinking, right? And it's gonna vary with intensity. It's gonna vary in frequency. It can be passive, just as, wishing to be dead, right? But it could be as severe as actively planning as well, right? It can be a symptom of a mental disorder, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary to have suicide ideation. So that's my hot take, just, coming out the door. What do you guys think?
For me, it was
Suicidal
connected
ideation.
to suicidal ideation was connected to my mental illness. It was brought on by the severe depression that I was having. So that's how I got to that point. And I was diagnosed at that time as a rapid manic depression, where you're just up and down, 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 to the point where I couldn't keep up anymore. I was masking it very well. John and my brother, they had no clue. I would get on here and do that podcast. I would be all beautiful with my little red lips. And as soon as we were done, that wig got snatched off. I went straight into my room and got in the bed and pulled up the covers and turned on the TV and shut everything off mentally. It slowly creeped up on me. Okay, I'm just going. Suicidal ideation. Did I answer it? Because I'm just going. Go ahead.
I'll say
That's what it was for me.
I was going to say, for me, it was basically just the start of a question. it was, well, no, not even the start of a question. It was basically just me saying, well, no, a question. Why am I even here? It was literally just that question. Like it was, and I kept answering, and I kept on finding answers for it. And the ideation came in the form of, I didn't see any hope. I didn't see any, I wasn't objective. So the ideation came where, yeah, this would probably be it was really darkly romantic. Like Tuesday would be a great day to die. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the type of thoughts that I was having. It was really dark. It was just like, maybe if something happens, they'll put me in my red dress. Like that was the type of ideation that I was having. So yeah. That's what that was the ideation was for me. It was initially thinking the world would be better if I wasn't here anymore.
Ooh. Ooh. Now,
so does it have to be that deep though?
It's interesting how they come about though.
Yeah.
Could it be just on a surface level of, like, how people just say things like, I guess you could say things like, how are you today? And you say, well, at least I woke up on the other side, on top of the ground, it beats being dead. I mean, could it be something like a surface type thing where you say, I don't have any alternatives.
That would be ambiguous though.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's very circumstantial. It depends on how you're delivering that, because it could be very ambiguous. Some people are just having a bad day and they're just, they're really pessimistic.
So that's what I'm saying.
Moment.
Is that the ideation where you will say, well, it beats the alternative. You hear a lot of people say that. You know what I'm saying?
It's a little
say,
bit,
how are you today? They say,
direct.
I'm living, but it beats the alternative. Could it still be something that simple, or does it have to go as deep as wanting to act on it?
No, all right. So that's the intent. Wanting to act is suicide intent. So we're just only dealing with thoughts, right?
Okay.
So for me, it was fantasies. It was not just thoughts. It was fantasies. It was, all right, what would it look like? How would I do it? If I wanted to do it, what would it look like? How would it feel? What would be the effects? Like, you're contemplating this thing, right? You're thinking about it. There's no plan yet, but there could be. You could be trying to generate a plan in your mind, but ultimately you're just entertaining the idea, and it's just thoughts, just like anything else. Hey, I'm thinking about this career in modeling. You're gonna think, and ruminate, right? So the suicidal ideation it doesn't necessarily have to be a rumination either. It doesn't have to be incessant. It can be, sporadic. Hey, today I thought about it, and then I didn't think about it until Wednesday. Then I thought about it all next week. Yeah. So we're just
So
does
it start out simple thoughts and then go deeper? This is what I'm trying to figure out. Like, does it start out, because I've thought about things like and I don't necessarily think that I was suicidal, but I just thought about, like, shit, I don't feel like doing this shit today. But then what the fuck else I'm gonna do? Like, I don't even know how to even begin to think about not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, where would I even start if I didn't want to do it anymore?
Okay, so let me go back then. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mama. My bad. I didn't.
Go ahead. I just it just becomes like confusing. Like, are suicidal thoughts that deep that you go to an act, or suicidal thoughts something to, like, where today I just don't feel like getting up. I don't want to do it today, but I don't want to take it as far as
two different things here. That just sounds like two different things. What you're explaining is two different things. Waking up in the morning and say, you know what? I'm not doing this shit today. I'm going to lay in bed. I'm going to eat me some ice cream, some cookies, and watch some TV. Suicidal ideation is, I don't want to fucking be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is a pain that you cannot even begin to describe. It's just like you're just wanting it all to stop. That is the difference between the two.
So it's a feeling.
Really,
and I'm asking all these questions because I'm coming from a point of view of some people as myself, because I've always been, my mother's a psychiatric nurse, so I always have been on my mental health. So I never got to that point. I never got to that point. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to bring up what Virjad said. Virjad, she said her ideations were literally ways that she could get away with it without anyone knowing until it was too late. So
Mm.
let's go ahead and say maybe the ideation actually starts with the feeling, then becomes a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
because for me it started with a feeling of hopelessness. Like
Yes.
there was
Okay.
no hope. And then I was like, and then it was the thought. And then it was the plan. And then so
Okay.
Mine was brought on by the depression
mhm,
that slowly creeped up on me. And
Yeah.
now I can recognize it. When I stop cleaning and I don't clean and I let it pile up and I start leaving out for work super late, just not caring. The day that I decided I wasn't going to take a shower, I knew something was wrong. And then I took multiple back and forth, back
mm,
and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
That's the manic mode.
Yep, I was in manic mode. Woo, girl, that is not a good place to be in. Not a good.
So yeah, it usually starts with a feeling. It could be, man, I'm just trying to end this suffering. I've been suffering for so long, and it just seems like nobody's seeing me. No one's understanding me. Everyone's, telling me stay prayed up. They just don't know what it's like to feel and experience this level of pain, this level of hopelessness. I don't know if I can keep going. It comes from an experience, and it typically comes from a feeling. So the thoughts, the consciousness is a reflection of that feeling or that experience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's transition into difference. What's the difference between suicidal ideation and intent? Obviously,
plan.
we need to clarify this because, yes, the intent is, hey, I desire, yearning, right? And that usually leads into a plan. So now we have mind collaborating with the instinct, with the drives, with the ambitions, with all those energies. We got consciousness coming together and saying, all right, so what are we going to do? We're thinking it. We're feeling it.
Might as well do it. Yeah, the first time I did it was with a handful of sleeping pills. This was back in 2012. Me and my family had just moved back to St. Louis. Me and my husband was no longer together. I went through something because I had been with this man for almost 14 years, and I woke up and it was just me and my children. And as I was laying there, I gave myself every reason in the book that I should not be here, that they will be better off with their father. They will be better off with their father and his new girlfriend. I literally told myself this before taking a handful of sleeping pills. And then woke up an hour later. All I heard was, get up. And I walked upstairs and I looked at all of my children, and all I could hear was, this is why you live. So it's a real thing. It is. The second time, I can't remember if my daughter was there. I was ready. And if it wasn't for my best friend coming to the door, she doesn't visit me late at night. But she just happened to come in. She seen the state that I was in and made a phone call to my sister. My sister immediately called John. John called Dion. By 8 o'clock that morning, everybody that was on my podcast was on the phone. Renee, what's going on? We got everybody here. Talk to me. Yeah, it was real. I was ready. Went to the hospital, got started on some medicine, and was diagnosed with rapid manic depression because I was going up and down, and I needed that shit to stop. Like whatever they gave me, flatlined me. It was like literally hitting a brick wall and sliding down it real slow. I was just happy to be stopped. Like my emotions wasn't all over the place, but prior to, oh God, yeah, I wanted it to stop. So yeah, it gets deep. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You hinted at something right there, though, and this still lines up with the suicide ideation. Self-talk. What do we say to ourselves in those moments, right? Do you even know if that's your voice?
Right.
Because I mean, these are your thoughts. These are thoughts that are just
Right.
occurring in your mind. Nobody else can see these thoughts. No one else can feel them like you do. So
Are
is
you
that your voice?
prior to, during, or after?
Prior to those thoughts,
Ooh,
are they? Is that your
ooh,
voice? Is that you
that
speaking to you? Because we
exactly.
did
So
ego last week, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
Ego.
yeah.
So is that
Yeah.
I
you?
was going to talk about. Have you guys heard of internal family systems?
No.
It basically says that you have a bunch of different personalities. You know what I'm saying? They kind of crop up as coping mechanisms, right? You got
I
like your
believe
shadow
that.
self, you got the fireman, you've got
I
the
can believe
manager, you've
that.
got the right. And
Thank you,
I've
Lord.
named mines my shady cast of characters. My shady cast of characters, my shadow self, his name is Ivan. Okay. And Ivan was speaking to me. That was the one who was talking to me, telling me that you ain't work. No, you don't need to be here. What you
Mm,
doing here anyway? I mean, the job don't need you. Them kids don't need you. They can go stay with their daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I had postpartum depression, so Ivan was really on deck,
I can
hard.
believe that.
Oh,
I
on deck
understand now.
hard.
I can understand that, but like I said, I've been dealing with this for a long time, and it was called cognitive therapy back in 1990s. In the
Mm.
1900s, that's what they called
Yeah,
it.
I have that
So
book.
cognitive therapy is the same thing. And what you're talking about with Ivan, I have a little girl, and she don't have no name, but she's a hell of a little hellion, and she tries to protect. And I've been working with her so long that I can keep her in check, but I had to have a conversation with her because I understand what you're saying. I had to have a conversation with her that I'm the adult and you're the child, and I don't
Hmm.
need you to protect us anymore because the way you protect is destructive. So
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying, but I just never got to that point of suicide because, as I said, I've been doing this since I was probably about 20, 21 years old. I've been
Mm,
on some type of medication while I stopped the meds, but I was on something from about that time. So I get what you're saying about those several different people, and it's the different phases that you've been through in life and who stepped up.
Yep, that's so true. They call them your oh, what do they call them? They call them your, like, no, it's not called your branches, but they're basically branches of you. Like, you've got your inner child, you've got your teenager, your rebellious teenager, your young
Yeah.
adult, your
mm,
old sage, your whatever, whoever it is who's like in there trying to manage. And yeah, yeah.
And
And
they
like
come
I
out
said,
during
mine was on
trauma
deck.
times. Yeah,
Yep,
so they're
exactly.
developed during trauma. So as a
Mm-hmm.
child, at an 8 year old child, by me being molested, that was the one that's the strongest, the one
Mm-hmm.
that I stay on so much. But then as you go on throughout life, the traumas
yeah.
that you have, you start developing even more. And you got to keep
Yep.
these in check because they want to
Be in
they're
control.
trying to protect you.
They want to
And it
be in
sounds
control.
crazy
Hmm.
and it sounds like
Doesn't at all.
multiple personality, but
Yeah.
these are things that was developed that they are trying to protect you.
Yeah.
So sometimes Ivan may his protection mode may have been ended off,
Mm,
Yep.
and you got to check Ivan, because you are the one that runs this show. But they will
yeah.
come out, and I know it sounds crazy, but they will come out and they will try to, depending on the situation, they will try to, like you said, manage that situation based on their skill.
Does
Yeah.
My eight
not
year
sound
old,
crazy at all.
she got the most skill because she's the most hateful one. But I got a teenager, and then I got one that's in her 20s that that'll put up a fight as well. But they all come out according to
The
what
situation.
brings you back to that. Yeah, and it's usually
According to the
usually triggered.
situation.
Yeah, it's triggered.
Yeah. I have a nickname. I'm not gonna say it, but I think you and I had this conversation a couple months back about my other person that comes out, and when she comes out, I do not care about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I have done things that have put myself in a position where I should have been in jail a long time ago. had I
But these
allowed
are
her
things
to
that you had did
continue
then.
to
Yeah.
control.
Mhm.
Yeah. Had
Yeah.
I allowed her to continue to control, oh baby, I would have been in the penitentiary several times, if not in there right now.
Mm.
Because she
I
didn't care.
understand. I definitely understand that.
She did not care.
Yeah.
She was willing to take
All right,
those
so wrapping
chances.
up
Those risks.
the
Go
difference.
ahead. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, so wrapping up the suicidal ideation with the suicidal intent. This is important because this is going to allow us to evaluate the severity of the individual's risk when it comes to, providing appropriate support and intervention, right? So the intent is very crucial because that really indicates that they're at a space of action. Whereas with the ideation, it's a contemplation stage, right?
Yeah.
So it's less severe when you're just, you're contemplating.
You're thinking
But
about
when
it.
you have
Yeah.
the intent where now you're expressing, I want to, now we're at a higher level. So if it's just, all right, hey, I'm just entertaining the idea. Okay, hey, you can still seek, counseling right there. You can still, support them in that. But when you get, I want, suicidal intent, all right, now we're dealing with some heavy stuff here. So next question, let's talk about, is it more common than people realize?
Definitely. I think so.
I feel like we need to ask the audience.
Oof.
Yeah.
You got a couple people in the room. Is suicide common? Like, do you know anyone?
Well, suicidal ideation, suicidal thoughts.
Has talked about it, has thought about it, has actually tried. That's deep.
I think it's a lot of people that have thought about it.
Yeah.
But how you
now we're not talking about just
go to the
just
intent.
Dying now.
Right. No, I'm talking about suicide.
We're not talking about just
taking
dying,
it and
okay?
finishing it.
Okay.
Yeah. To do it yourself and take yourself out for this earth. I think that a lot of people during stressful times probably have thought about it. Now, I don't think everybody has went as far as intent, but I think ideation has definitely is a normal. It's a common thing.
They thought about it. Yeah, they've thought about it.
I think those thoughts. Yeah, I think those thoughts are common, especially during stressful times.
Yeah, it's amazing. And when I started to talk about my story, how many, like, to the people who I trust, how many of the people that I trust actually were like, man, I had the same thoughts at one point in time. Go ahead, King Newborn, my bad.
Yeah, because we're getting ready to go. All right.
I just want to share with the family, this is a safe place. Big up to anybody that's watching. Shouts out to Skywalker for sharing. I'm gonna share a situation. Personally, I had.
Thank you, man.
So I was going through a situation with somebody, and for the love of me, I couldn't figure out why I'm not being picked versus the other person. And my brain wouldn't allow it to make sense. Like, I'm doing this, trying to do. It just, my brain just wouldn't allow it to make sense. So one day, and God level, you know what Highway 70 looks like, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so if you know 70 in Shreve,
yes,
70 in Shreve goes all the way up to Lucas and Hunt, right? Lucas and Hunt and 70.
Yes.
Well, one day, I said, fuck it. I let go of the wheel.
Wow.
From Lucas and Hunt and 70 to Shreve and 70 ain't nothing but curves. And I don't care what nobody say. How did I make it from there to there? I can't even tell you. I let go of the wheel and said, fuck it.
Yeah.
Nah, that car stayed in that lane. It didn't skip no lanes. It stayed in that lane.
And if you
I
know
didn't have
70 in St. Louis is literally
it's all curved up down.
Mhm.
It ain't no way in the world. No way. No way. No
oh
way.
my God.
You can Google that. No way. The vehicle I was driving was aluminum Z34. It was a two-door with a six-cylinder dual head cam. There is no way. I was doing 90. There is no way. No way. I don't care who you are.
I realized something in my 2 attempts, or 1 attempt and 1
Mhm.
possible. When it's not your time, it's not your time.
Yeah,
That part.
I was gonna say divine intervention. Definitely, somebody
Yes.
was there.
Yeah. When
Somebody
it's
I'm
was
gonna
not your
tell
there.
you who was
time.
there. It was my mom, my dad. My
Mm.
mom said something after the fact. My dad said something the next day. Y'all can
Oh
say
wow.
whatever you want. My dad said, "You ain't done. What you thought?"
Mm.
My mom said, "We got a lot of work to do. Y'all can take that how you want to."
So I have a question to those on the panel. How has that changed? How did that change you guys' life? Going through something that severe, as far as wanting to take your life. How, when you came out of it, because I know that everybody's come out of it. How did that change you once you came out of it?
I
Was
found
it
my
a
tribe.
true I'm gonna live this life to the fullest, or was it
Ride
why
this
didn't I
bitch till the wheels fall
complete
off.
this?
Oh, I found my tribe.
Yeah.
I feel like that's us here.
For
Yep.
me,
I
it was
definitely feel like
resilience. Uh, Renee remembers. Renee remembers when I had my little episode a couple of years ago.
Baby, I was
It
on
made me more
everybody's
resilient.
show.
Yeah, yeah. But it made me more resilient. It upped the appreciation, fresh perspective, and it gave me a better understanding. And even more so, it gave me more compassion. 'Cause, you know, I thinking about suicide was always there, but I got PTSD, so it's associated, right? And a
mhm,
lot of combat
mhm.
veterans. Oh my gosh, if you've been over there, it's
Yeah.
it's there, it's there.
Yep.
And
Facts.
but once you get to that near, I don't know about everybody else, but once you get to that near miss and you recognize, like, all right, first off, there was a lot of barriers keeping me
Right.
from getting there. Like, people think it's easy. It is not. If you love life, it is not easy. It's not easy. So we're gonna kill that myth today. It's not easy. It takes strength to live just as much as it takes
Yeah.
strength
Come
to
on.
take that life. It
Yeah, to
takes
Come
die.
strength.
on.
You can't do it. So
I
let's
believe
stop
that.
capping it, everyone. You don't know. You don't know. So let's start there. But I know it varies for individual to individual, but it just gave me a greater appreciation for life, and
Yeah.
it invaded the meaning, the purpose, and it just started going up from there.
Mm.
I will say in my case, first time I thought it was a fluke because it was with PPD. I had postpartum depression, right? So I was like, oh, I just needed my meds to get, evened out. And that was after I came back from, because I have PTSD too. So I thought it was a little bit of everything. The second time, the second attempt, it changed everything. I'm talking my entire trajectory of life. It changed my language, how I looked at stuff. It changed how I looked at experiences. It changed how I looked at myself. I am literally my second attempt was in 2020, y'all. So we're not talking not that far off. So
Right.
I am still in the recovery phase, and actually no, not in the recovery phase. I'm in the building phase of coming out of the other side of that. And actually, to tell you the truth, I look at that as in I had to go through it. I had to go through those moments, and I had to build the resilience from it, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be here talking to y'all. And I mean, it told me what people I needed to have in my life. It told me what people needed to go. It told me what I needed to eat. It told me what I needed to change with my health. Everything. Yeah.
So do you think something actually did unalive on those days? Not
Ask
you
that one more time.
specifically. Do you think something, I'm saying unalive, but do you think something did unalive on that day? Not you specifically.
Oh yeah.
I get what
But
you're
something
saying. Something
inside
died within you. Something died within you.
In you,
The ego
exactly.
that I thought I had. I had an ego death. I had an ego death.
Yeah.
And it was the worst, because it wasn't like an ego death of one day. It was an ego death that took stages, and it took time. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, we
Thank
are.
you. Thank you, Jaja, because I'm glad that I'm still here today too.
I'm gonna take it one step further for you. You now know what it looks like.
Amen.
So you can actually help someone else. You can hear it. You can feel it. You can see it. You know it.
And let's keep this a buck. Most of the time, when Black women and Black men, when they are having those suicidal ideations, they never tell anybody. So the thoughts are more common. Somebody else had just said it, like in the comments. They were like, it's more common than people actually want to admit to, right? And people having a plan, Black people having a plan to actually unalive themselves is more common than we even want to discuss, because once again, let's keep this a book. We don't even do mental health in our community. So I know I am here to talk to somebody, about being in the throes of that and be like, baby girl, I get it. I know I'm here for that. Still trying to figure out how to do it, but I know I'm here for that.
How long ago did we have that phone call where I end up talking to that lady after the show? Because I can recognize that what she was feeling and going through and saying, she didn't want to be here.
That
she didn't have a plan.
Probably 4 months ago.
Yeah, she didn't have a plan, but she didn't want to be here.
Oh wow.
Yes. And then
you
I
could
had
hear it in her voice when she was talking on the phone.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Oh, wow. And I end up talking to her after the show, and we talked for about an hour. So yeah,
John, I asked. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
John, I asked the ladies, like, when you were going through this suicidal phase, did something die in you that day? Not you specifically, but do you feel like something died?
Oh, wait. I heard what you were saying. There is a process there. Do I feel like something? I could imagine so. I can imagine so.
Something.
Yeah, I know what to identify that as, but I can imagine that.
Right. I'm not sure what to call it or how to identify it, but it just seems like it. From what I'm hearing, because I'm such an empath, and what I'm feeling from you guys is that it took you so low that something broke to make you rise back up.
I know this. I don't ever want to get that low ever again.
I will never.
Man, and the tribe that I have right now, these people on the podcast, my family, my friends, the new connects that I have made, going back there, it's not even an option. It's not. It is absolutely the worst feeling in the world. So I wouldn't say something died in me, something was born. This.
There you go. That's a better way to describe it.
Yeah, this. I have my tribe. My people don't play about me. Hello.
All right, let's go ahead and address this question, because I got plenty more. We got to crunch everything in.
Cram. Go ahead.
Causes, right? We already listed one of them: mental health disorders. We're talking about depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, PTSD, substance abuse too.
Definitely.
Trauma and stress, witnessing violence, physical or sexual abuse, leading to hopelessness and despair. Chronic illness, chronic pain or chronic illness. That is a big one. I think people we really overshadow that one. We really, because it's somebody else experiencing that pain, and it's constant. You know, like just last week, for example, my grandma had a stomach ache. Right, we're right there training. I don't know what she's feeling. I don't know how pain. I see the face, but I don't feel that. So I can't. It's hard to empathize with that. You're on the outside looking in, and chronic illness. You don't think, yo, I just want to relieve myself from this. And it's constant. If you haven't had that experience, it's very, very condescending for you to be like, just hold on. Prescribing instead of just witnessing and validating.
Yeah.
Like, I understand. I'm right there, you know? So that can create more undue pressure and undue stress, right? So substance abuse, that was another one. Social isolation can exacerbate it.
Yes.
Social isolation. And so I say that in lieu of, you were talking about your tribe. And there's an expectation.
You remember when it happened, I was in Houston. And then I came back home. I had to come back home.
Yeah.
And now that I've been back home, I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. Is now it's time for me to, I came back and got what I needed.
Right.
Now,
sometimes you do have to, go full circle. Because you left something behind.
Fly the coop. Trying to fly the coop.
I want to go back to what you were saying about the pain. It seemed like that one is more acceptable, a more acceptable suicide for people to end it because of pain. When you see people like
Tina Turner.
They're just actively dying, and it's more acceptable to say just give them a bunch of stuff to end all the pain.
Yeah.
But why isn't it acceptable to end the mental pain, but it's acceptable to end the physical pain?
Because people are more comfortable. That part. Go ahead, Newborn. Go ahead. I was about to say it's more acceptable for you to look at somebody physically and be like, okay, I can understand, except for when it's in here. Because
like he said in the beginning, or one of us
making it up. You're making it up.
We don't do this in our Black community.
Yep.
Yeah, we definitely don't. We've definitely been trained not to accept,
not to
suicide
look
as an
at
option.
Ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're waiting on
King
you,
Newborn, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I just want to say, you pointed out substance abuse. I didn't really know I was going through depression when I was drinking alcohol until I look back on it. I had one moment where I had drank to the point that I started throwing up. Right? So I drank to the point I started throwing up. Throw up. I started back drinking again.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to point out to what Miss AP said. Two things took place. I started to regain regular consciousness. And by me throwing up, the pain started to resurface. So I started back drinking.
Drinking, right.
Right behind throwing up. Like instantly I'm starting to realize everything that's going on. Stuff I got to take care of, things I got to do. I'm being pulled in this direction. I'm not a man enough in this direction. I'm not a father enough in this direction. So I just, I don't want to feel this right now. Just not right now. I don't want to.
Whew.
Yeah.
That I can definitely understand. I was a heavy drinker up until probably last year. And I've drank till I blacked out on several different occasions throughout my drinking history.
And can I add, substances are not just illicit. You understand what I'm saying? We're not just talking about just narcotics and liquor. Substances are food, shopping, people. Let's talk about people who unalive themselves over codependent tendencies.
That's right.
over
Yes.
and love addiction, over gambling, over financial debting.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Bullying.
saying?
Yeah.
Oh man, come on. So substance abuse is definitely, and addiction is definitely heavily linked to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Renee, I'm always available. I
Yep.
am always available. We can be your tribe too.
Right.
Come on
Yeah,
in.
definitely.
That's a part of my tribe
Yeah.
right there.
There
That's
you
my,
go.
I don't think any man, listen, if I haven't said it to you, Jai, you took me off of the edge so many times. And I just want to thank you since we're here on this forum.
Oh,
Because
girl.
when I went to the pokey and I talk about it so many times, because I ain't shy, I talk about how I had to go to inpatient treatment. I talk about how I had to go to intensive outpatient treatment. And there was a handful. Everybody else cleared and scattered like roaches, y'all.
Yeah.
There was only a handful of people
Mhm.
who were there for me.
Yep.
And she was one of them. And I love you for that,
Mm.
girl. Oh, God. But,
Yeah, because man, yeah, I am grateful for you all if I have not said that yet.
Thank
I
you.
am
We're grateful
grateful
for you as
and
well.
thankful for you all. John, my brother, Aaron, Ivy. Ivy, I knew you had it in you to be here. I know it, girl. You don't realize how many times you helped me as well. Ooh, ooh, ooh,
Support.
ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Definitely. Everybody needs a support system,
support.
some type
Yeah,
of support system.
you definitely do, man. What are
So
some
And sometimes
misconceptions.
misconceptions? Go
Go ahead.
ahead.
oh,
Let her
go
have her
ahead.
moment, baby.
You said start talking about.
What are some misconceptions about suicide?
Yeah. So let's get into it.
That you'll go
Myths.
to that you'll go to hell. The biggest misconception is something that they beat into us forever. That if
Is that you
you
would definitely go to hell.
yeah,
You would not
there's no
enter the
coming
gate
back from that.
of heaven. God will
That's
never
the only
forgive you
thing.
for
Yeah,
that.
that's the only thing that you can't be forgiven from is a
Yep.
sin.
Yeah. Is there more? Because that was the number
Oh
one
yeah,
and
I got
only
I
one.
got more. I got more. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Wait a minute. King Newborn,
So
go ahead.
I just want to say, for me, I juggled with the thought it was gonna be a hard reset. Ain't no hard
For
reset. That's it.
right, right. Then about being weak, because if you
mm,
can't cope, you weak. We in our culture we hard on people. You can't show much weakness. We are hard on each other, and to try to commit suicide means that you're weak. You're
It's
you
the
you
opposite.
know
You strong.
We
right,
You committed.
right. But they will shame you for attempting because that's a sign of weakness.
also, they don't understand themselves. A lot of people don't understand the nature of suicide. They just know that it's bad. And so
Right,
yeah.
talking about suicide, there's a misconception that if you speak about it, if you speak on it, I mean, we do that as Black people. If you speak on it, it's going to come to
right,
fruition. Okay.
right. Don't
Mm.
manifest.
But having the conversation like how we're having it right now could actually help somebody by
Someone.
enlightening them, right? If you
Mhm.
avoid the topic altogether, right, you may be hindering them from getting the support that they need. So it's okay to talk about it, It's
Very
okay to
Right.
talk about it. Here's another one. People who talk about suicide are not serious. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
verbalizing those thoughts, now I know that
The
there's some
first thing.
exceptions here, but it's better to take them serious first than to be like, you playing up. Man, stop with all that talk. You ain't finna do nothing.
I did
it
that.
is a,
I literally did that. What you just said, I took them serious first because everything that they were saying and feeling and showing me up until that moment, I believed them wholeheartedly. So when I got the text message, this is what I took. I'm literally driving 100 miles an hour, trying to get to them to find out, okay, what's going on, notifying people in their family. And then, once I get there, I'm counting pills in a bottle. I'm taking away the liquor. Uh, Never mind the fact that I talked to them all the way there. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Talk to me. How are you feeling? And then I got aggressive when I got there. Okay, let me see what you took. Okay, how is this going to affect you? Because I didn't initially call the ambulance, but I just. So I just recently went through this, not even 2 months ago, with someone that you gotta believe them. I believed him.
There's always warning before destruction. I feel like no matter what
Woo.
the situation is.
Listen, and if nothing else, this is what is important. If somebody is in so much fucking pain
Yeah.
that they want to end their lives, that it is, if nothing else, it is a cry for help.
Right.
It's a cry for help. Because okay, so I'm just going to read just like Jaja just said. She said to be honest, she used to think that because she was thinking about it, she didn't want anybody to know, and that was her mistake in the past. And she's glad that she didn't lose the loved one that she wrote off needing attention. Give them the attention. Give them the attention, because more than likely they are. We just talked about it. They're isolated. You know what I'm saying? After COVID, man, COVID put people on Zoom and took people away from physical connection and everything else. So many people took their lives during 2020 and 2021 because they didn't have another person there.
Right.
So if they need attention, fucking give them attention. Give it to them. Because they more than likely they need it. They need somebody, they need to know somebody gives a shit about them.
Right.
Just give it.
Yeah.
And it don't cost
Also,
nothing.
there is a consequence,
It's
right?
free.
What's the consequence, right?
The consequences
I
of
mean,
what?
really just think about that, right? If you're not giving that individual the attention that they're asking for, and then you find out that because I mean, how is that going to look, right? You see the cry for help, you hear it, you're exposed to it, right? And that goes back to this one right here. It goes back to this. Yeah, because you don't want to be living. You don't want to be living with that regret. Like, dang, I could have did something, but I didn't.
Like, I could have intervened. And then the fact that I notified his family, like, y'all need to know too, just in case something happens. So I went through all the proper steps, just to make sure that this person is okay. Because that's not something that any one of us on this platform is going to play with.
Man.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. We just, that's how you feeling? Let's what's going on? Talk to me.
Let's suss this out. Let's see where this is coming from.
I didn't took your gun. It's in my car. Just trying to take away items that I know that you can use. Yeah, it's nothing to play with. You don't play with something like that. You really don't.
You don't.
Which is why suicide does not happen without warning, right? Some people will say, oh, it was just all of a sudden. But a lot of the times, the individuals are communicating, you're just not listening. You're just not monitoring. You're just not paying attention, right? So it's our negligence. We're caught up in our own bullshit, right? Mental illness. Only mentally ill people do it?
No, not at all.
I don't know about
Let's go ahead and break down mental illness, because you could call somebody mentally ill. The difference between somebody who's mentally ill and crazy is the person who's mentally ill actually went to go get help. They got medication for this shit. Because half of these motherfuckers out here still crazy.
Crazy.
And they need to look in the mirror and actually go get help for their shit.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I need for my friend that did what he did 2 months ago, I need for you to go sit down and talk to someone.
Come on, man.
Help. Because you can't keep doing that, and getting everybody riled up about this, what we're talking about right now. Because when you talk about it so much, it's going to be like, and I hate to say this,
crying wolf.
Yeah.
The little boy crying wolf. And then the moment you decide, okay, you know what, I'm really gonna do it, and you tell somebody, they're gonna be like,
Right.
oh, he just acting out right now. He'll be all right. And then they find you.
Right. I do
There
want to
you
go back
go.
to the mental health part because I do
Go
think
ahead.
that all of us have mental health. I don't think there is the same person in the
What
world.
is?
To be honest, to be honest, some of us cope better than others, but we all got coping
Where
issues.
they at?
Yeah.
Where the
So
normal mental health people that
no,
went
I
through
don't think.
a
Yeah.
life without
Even
trauma?
your psychiatrist to your psychiatrist.
Yeah. When I heard that, I was like, what?
Yes,
They
I
got
am.
to
Yeah.
deal with the stories that they hear from you,
Yes,
Yeah.
and
And then their own personal
so
shit. We
it did.
all got
Yeah.
personal shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yes. So
And it
yeah,
wears on you. So I don't think
man.
there's anybody. Only sane people are the people that's born today. Anybody been in the world more than a day, they fucked up.
you got some shit you got to deal with, baby. Come
Right.
on, you got some demons in there. You got some trials and tribulations in there.
I
Right.
Oh
cannot
man,
with you,
river. You got
You
Aaron.
get
Don't you
one
start
day
that.
on
So
earth.
I
Yeah,
wanna
one day on
ask
earth, it's over.
can someone help me understand an old situation that happened and why I felt the way I felt at the time? So
Okay.
okay.
I had a client. I was cutting their hair, and you know, I, when I was a barber, a lot of males would share a lot of things that's going on in their life. This one particular guy, he was talking about, not living up to the standard of what his woman wants him to be, not living up to the standard of what his mother wants him to be, not living up to the standard of what his children want him to be, not living up to the standard of what his job expecting him to be. So he tried to commit
Mm,
suicide and failed at it.
mm.
Why did that strike a chord in me during the time that I'm going through my alcoholism and feel like I'm failing at everything, and I failed at committing suicide?
Hmm. Hmm. That was life experience.
Man.
You were resonating.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
resonating. Not only that,
What
but
you want?
you probably got that message
You need to
because of
see
the
what
fact,
you look like on the outside.
ma'am, and you also were put in that position because what you had just gone through, you were
Mm-hmm.
supposed to help that person through that.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Once
That's
you
what you
get
had.
the knowledge,
Come on,
you got to use it.
come on, man.
Right.
Once you get the
Right.
knowledge, you got to use it. We are all here to help one another along on our journey. We're
That's
at
that
different
wisdom.
stages.
But
Right?
I'm not gonna say that you failed. To
No.
me, suicide,
Okay.
and this is why I just have not been a big thing on it because I'm scared if I blow my brains out, I'm gonna survive. If I take a
Mm.
bunch of pills, I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna make. I'm
Ooh.
being serious. I'm being very
Okay,
serious
I'm
because
sorry.
I'm thinking about the after effects. Like if I take a bunch of pills and now I'm a vegetable, I don't. I don't succeed, and be my fucking luck, I probably wouldn't because I just feel like I got that type of
Right.
thing.
And you
Like
would be laying now
it,
you're laying in the bed being
yeah,
checked
I'm
and
laying in
changed
the
every two
bed
hours
and being
with a
turned,
G
wiped, and
tube.
fed something that I don't want to ever have to do.
Yeah. Put that
I
whole
So
think that I think
that scares me more than living.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that
Man. Go ahead.
Dartez wants to call in. I was just saying because he was saying that the number is covered by the comments, so I think he wants
Yeah.
to call in.
It's on the
I just
ticker
wanted to
too
bring
at the
that back
below
up.
of the video. Okay, well that
Hmm.
is fine. Please call in. Until then,
Yes.
how we're gonna move when it comes to people, wanting or stating or feeling like they don't want to be here. We're gonna take it serious
Yeah.
each time. Each time. Suicide is selfish. It is.
You hear that a
Mm,
lot. You hear that a lot.
mm,
Suicide is selfish.
It's
mm.
very complex. It's
But
very
in
I
your
Is it
agree.
mind,
selfish?
you are telling yourself you are doing what's best for your loved ones by not being here.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing what was best for my children if I left and left them with their father and his newfound girlfriend.
Hmm.
back in Houston, I thought I was doing what's best to get rid of the pain, not knowing that I was going to be leaving behind a host of people who fucking love me. So yeah, you're not thinking
The,
about that.
But you can't
the
see it.
person doing the act think it's selfish, or do the people that are watching them go through what they're
Yeah,
going through think it's selfish?
man.
I will. So, knowing what I know now, right? And taking myself out of my shoes, taking myself out of the shoes that I was then, and thinking about my kids and thinking about my daughter. You know, I did realize that it was a self-contained act. It was a self-preservation act, and some people say that that's selfish. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll say for myself, I'll say that it was selfish, and the reason being is because I mean, oh my gosh, my youngest especially. By the time all of this, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bo.
I'm sorry, who am I speaking with?
This is Alan. How are you doing?
Oh, we're good. How are you, Alan?
I am well, thank you.
You have a comment you want to give to us tonight?
Yes, hello everybody. I don't know if you guys can hear me clearly.
They
How
can.
you guys
Hello.
doing?
Yep.
Okay. Great conversations. Always a very touchy, very complex conversation. I think Jan has led the panel very well on the ideal of suicide. And it feels so great to hear everyone giving their personal experience. It makes it so relatable to the audience to be able to hear like these personal individual experiences of suicide and just the idea of the thought of suicide.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea that John posed a beautiful question that asks, is it common? And oftentimes, many people don't think it's very common, but based off of the statistics, about 12 million people a day is thinking about some sort of suicide. Now, the numbers of thought versus carrying it out is very low. People think about it more than they carry out. About 1.2 million people do carry out suicide thoughts. But I just want to commend you guys for giving the personal experience of it. It's so beautiful to hear someone to be so vulnerable and to say, this is my experience, this is how I dealt with it. Because I think everyone on the panel probably told a different way how they dealt with it. And that relates to so many Americans, how we all deal with it in some way. It's so different. But I think it's the beautiful approach when someone is dealing with suicide is being just an ear is so important. Just to hear the person out more than trying to give advice. I think that the natural instinct of us is to want to give advice. But the best thing a person can receive when they are going through that, the ideal of thought suicide is just to know that you hear them. And whatever they say to you, it could be off the wall and it can sound so crazy. But to agree at the moment, I understand. I'm sorry that you're going through that. Tell me more. It's sometimes the best approach, just so they can know that somebody hears them. Because I think a lot of times that's what's happening, is that people feel alone. They feel abandoned with their thoughts. And they feel abandoned with their situations. Yeah. They feel alone with their, or what we call isolated. They're so isolated on just that particular, whatever that could be. It could be, I think some of you guys said, it could be the bills, it could be relationships, it could be kids, it could be after having a baby, it could be so many things. And so a person feel alone in that ruminative thinking is just constantly going on and on. And just so somebody can hear them, can kind of relieve that pain just a little bit. Excuse me. But then the thought of, what do you do? Like, what do you do after you heard them? Right? What do you do? Oof. Most people don't have a plan, and 90% of people who have suicide thoughts don't have a plan. Because if you got a plan, you won't be leading yourself to this area of, I'm going to commit suicide. But, and sometimes that's not always a set one plan. You can say the plan is this, And that might not be the plan for me. It could be the ideal plan for you. But having a plan is ideal, right? Just like having a plan for your career. It's ideal to have it, but it's not always what's there, you know. I think John said something that was great, that there's a warning sign before suicide. There's a warning sign. Oftentimes, you hear the warning sign more from females than you'll hear from guys.
Yes,
Guys
that's so
tend
true.
to commit suicide in silence. Like, no one knows it's about to happen. They just, they don't cry out for help. They tend to just do it. Let's just do it. Either that's a gunshot, or that's a jumping off a building, or multiple things. And females tend to cry out for help first. They tend to say, nobody's hearing me, I'm sad, or they'll show some type of aggression, or it'll be a lot of signs that you see more from females. But everyone shows a sign. The problem is most people don't know what those signs are. They don't know what to look for. They don't know that a person is in pain or hurting or in a solid state of their mind and they're really thinking. Oftentimes people don't know those signs. And that's not to blame anyone for not knowing those signs, because that's not easy. Even me as a clinician, it's not always easy to see those signs. But there are tell signs, you know, and everyone has different ones. A lot of times if a person already have prior diagnosis, like borderline personality, ADHD, post-traumatic stress disorder, other diagnosis that affiliates with suicide ideology, you can kind of see those signs. But what happened to that person who you thought was just fine yesterday, and they seem so happy and joy, and it seems like there's nothing going on. They have a perfect life.
I've seen videos, of people 24 hours.
Are not always prevalent. I'm sorry. Am I talking over
you? No. Go ahead. I am so sorry.
But it is a beautiful thing to try to identify those signs.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll see a person that could be in the first state of depression, and that's not always the same from person to person. But just to have a window, or just to have a mirror to look in, it could be this person has changed a routine. Their routine has changed. Because their routine do change. Every person's routine changes when they are in this suicidal thought. That routine change, and it could be very sudden. It could be a very small change. It could be a change for like change of direction on job path. Like they're going to work every day on Highway 10, and then all of a sudden they just change that routine. And they could be on your 360 from, Alpha Happy 360. You can notice there's a change there. Those things sometimes can be important to jot down. Like, and it could be a conversation like, hey, honey, I noticed you went different. You went different paths today. And they can say, oh, I was just, whatever their answer could be, at least you gave a chance to look at that small change. And I know that sounds crazy, but those small changes happens, especially with guys. Guys are known for changing routines really easily.
Giving away stuff.
But I'm sorry.
No, she's no. It's okay. No. Keep going, Al.
I'm hamstering.
Okay.
It's okay.
It was one of her hamsters. It's okay.
You like what?
Oh, wait a minute. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, yes, someone else was just calling in. Hold on, you all.
You can take the other call. You can take the other call. I think I've said enough. I'll give them more time.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for calling
Thank
in.
you,
We really
Alex.
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
All
A
right.
lot of insight.
Thank you guys for sharing such good comments.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
Let's talk
It's
more
a
about
lot,
those signs
man.
real quick. Let's talk
Yes.
more about those signs real quick, because then we're
Can
gonna
we
have to
please?
transition into what we can do after we see those signs, because we gotta,
the signs, right.
try to wrap it up. So those signs.
Inward.
So I wanted to ask him before he got off, because you could see one sign and that's one sign
Right.
to be ambiguous. So I'm wondering if we should be looking for, a cluster of signs. So let's say the helplessness and the hopelessness, um, the suicide talk, the suicide self-talk, the increased
Decreased
isolation,
conversation. Increase in
right?
depression.
You can
Just
tell somebody is masking if you go talk to them, have a conversation with them, and they give
Mm-hmm.
you a smile, and then you watch them before you leave them, and you just literally watch them just,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
literally, like,
body
yeah,
language.
ha ha ha.
Yeah, that body language
Hollywood.
can definitely tell you.
Mm.
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Okay.
Mr. Fowler? That's Mr.
Hi,
Fowler. Good
hi,
Lord.
Hollywood.
Oh.
You see him down.
Okay. Go ahead and give us your comment, Mr. Hollywood.
Hey. No, I was listening to. Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Hello.
I was listening to you guys, podcast for the last couple of days,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of had that issue with a best friend of mine who also committed suicide.
Wow.
And I didn't find out until I found out when I was in the movies.
Mm.
And I work for a funeral home part-time.
Okay.
And I end up picking him up.
No.
And it's this, 45 years of friendship.
Mm.
Is a thing to where you would never think that would happen to your best friend. It still hurts when people ask me, well, what happened to Terry? What happened to Terry? And that breaks down every time people ask me what happened to him. And I didn't see the signs at first, but I think the signs was he was just in the depression stage, and he didn't want to talk about his depression. I never talked about it to anyone. It's really hard now to even talk about it to this day.
Take your time.
But the signs that I've seen people, by being in the military, it's just like it's my apologies.
It's okay.
No, you're fine.
When I still to this day can I even look at his obituary at all. And I wish I was there to help him, to talk to him, to find out what was going on. And the worst part was, his wife told me that she had talked to him on a Tuesday and said, well, I've been having a headache. Okay, well, I'm going to take you to the doctor. She didn't take him to the doctor Tuesday. Wednesday, she didn't take him to the doctor. She said, well, I'm going to take you, they have him again, I'm going to take you to the doctor. So Thursday morning, she went to work. And she came home as usual, let me talk. So she came home Thursday night from work. He was downstairs in the basement because he worked at night. When she came home, Terry wasn't downstairs. Now, mind you, he's always, tired. He's always, sleeping because, sleeps during the day. So his wife came home. She looked for him. She went upstairs, and that's what Terry was. He was just laid down on the cold block ice. He's been there all morning, all day, dead. And the worst part is her 16-year-old daughter was there the entire time. We never knew he was dead. She was in her bed.
Oh my God.
And she tried to perform, CPR and everything, and he wasn't. She didn't even know he was gone. Because back in the day, when you are just, you're home, your door is shut, the parents' door is shut. You don't go in. You don't go in.
Right.
She didn't. It was a real major shock. So mind you, Terry is 6'4", 253. So it still bothers me to this day. It'd be 3 years in July that he took his own life. And I'm still at a thing to where it didn't happen. So when I went to when I picked him up from the Baltimore morgue, I talked to him. I had to, you got to identify the body and everything. I talked to him the whole way home. And
Hey, Fowler.
I couldn't. Yes.
I want to ask you, because first of all, I know this brother from way back. I know him from, like, we were deployed to Guantanamo Bay together. And I just got to ask, being a Black man and seeing your friend and now saying, I saw the signs, I wish that I could have been there for him. What were the signs, Black man to other Black men? What should those brothers' spouses, what should those brothers' kids be looking out for? Like, what are those signs? Because in Black men, it presents way different. So what are those signs for Black men that we should be looking out for?
That's a good question. Hold on, man. I got to stop one of these pieces because I'm hearing the echo. I'm here. Hold on. I'm going to take off the leather piece. Hold on.
What you doing over there? You frying the egg? I can tease with him like that. I can tease with him. What you doing?
Oh my God.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, that was too many earpiece I had.
Okay.
To me, the signs, and it's crazy. I'm glad you asked that because the signs from a Black man's point of, of trying to. The signs like they'll start either, hear me out, they'll start either doing different things. They'll either be silent or they'll do something out of the ordinary. Like, okay, so I've been knowing me since 2006, and she knows I like to joke around. I like to do crazy. I talk about people, I clown people, I do the craziest crap. I just do whatever. Then all of a sudden, when that person starts changing, like there's no more laughter, there's no more, everything is so serious, or they just blunt with everything, or they fall back on way back for some odd reason. And first thing you be like, well, people may ask, damn, Violet, Hollywood, you good? So yeah, I'm good. Damn well he ain't good. When you come to the door joking, from time you're joking to the time he leaves, and if there's no joking, no clowning, okay, fine. Maybe maybe it's a job. But you start seeing a type of different movement,
the way he is at work, the way he is at home, the way he is around his friends. Now, even if he goes and say, yeah, I'm gonna go hang out for a minute, okay, cool. But he's sitting there, his whole atmosphere, his whole demeanor has changed. And then you have to do, it's a difference between it's a different demeanor when you change it from, breaking up from it with a girl than you thinking about ending your life. It's a whole different demeanor. Your whole atmosphere just changed. Everything just, I don't care. Things just started changing. They started like going places. They started not doing things. So what's my man Skywalker? So me and Skywalker say, Hollywood, come on, let's go. Knowing we hang out every 3 days a week. We hang out. But he's like, man, I ain't heard from you. Good? And yeah, I'm good, man. I'm just going to say, well, talk to me. Well, I'm on my man. It's a job. And then Dan was this dude got the sweetest job in the world. Something ain't right. He's not talking. As black men, we don't talk. And I think that's one of our biggest problems. We don't talk. We think everything is hunky-dory. Everything can't nothing hurt a black man's feelings. Can't nobody hurt his pride. So when he starts talking differently, you be like, okay, only some brothers that's been there can understand it. Other ones be like, yeah, okay, he good. But then Scout will be like, nah, something ain't right. What you mean? Because he moving different. His whole demeanor has changed. You have to talk. It's not necessarily making him talk, but it's a certain way you gotta make a brother talk. It's like, talk to me, what's going on? You talk to him, and then you can say, well, I've been here. Just like I had a brother here. And it's funny you say that. I had a brother in the military. He just retired. He called me. He said, Charlie, I said, Ford, where are you? He was a state trooper. I said, Ford, where are you? He said, man, I'm just out. I said, Ford, you can hear the voice always change. The voice is either like a slur or I said, are you drinking? Man, I'm good, man. I'm just out here driving. Driving where? Where you going? I said, well, first of all, talk to me. And most black men, first thing they'll say is, oh, no, I'm good, man. You don't understand. You can't tell me I've been there. Tell me what's going on. I've been there. Then I said, well, I'm going to stop here at the liquor store. Ruin, that's another bird for that. You know they don't drink like that. So if a black male decides to do things out of the ordinary, i.e., they want to go to the liquor store, they want to go out driving, they want to just sit in the house. Knowing those 3 things are red flags, you know that person won't do it. So when you ask a young black male or older black man, you should ask them questions out of the ordinary. Even if you got something in there, just to see if they can bring it out, but you got to earn their trust because you cannot.
That part.
Yes, because you cannot BS any black man, especially if they already know this. You can't do it. They know, like, man, you ain't never did this. You took, no. Listen to what I'm saying. Let's talk. Let's meet somewhere. You cannot sit there and say everything will be fine. I got you. Let's talk. Because if you tell him everything's gonna be fine, he's like, no, everything ain't gonna be fine. Then you say, okay, well, talk to me. Because we probably got the same issues. And once he start talking, you be like, okay, I got the same issue. Let's talk. I've talked Ford out of committing suicide. Just last year. As a matter of fact, I told him I committed suicide because his wife, thank God, his ex-wife wanted divorce papers. He didn't want divorce papers, but he started talking. I don't want you on this, Ford. Listen to me. He ended up going into the 4th floor at Fort Belvoir Hospital. Yeah. He admitted himself. I said, Ford, stay here. Get yourself together. I got you. And one thing, and I'll be nosy, one thing I do, I'll talk and deal in the face. I'll talk to a lot of people. A lot of young black men, a lot of men. Listen to me, I've been there. I've been a lot of things. Have I tried to commit suicide? Of course I have. And let me tell you what stopped me. And it's not funny, but it is funny. The damn thing wasn't nothing. That's the only thing. And I said, I must get out of my mind. I said, I can live. I said, only people you gonna hurt is your loved ones and your friends.
That part.
And I wish I could have talked to Terry before he died because he ended up taking some pills. Because his wife found a suicide note. I said, Yes, I need to even know. She said, they mom, yes, she did. And it really took me because you never know what a person, and I tell people this, I tell a lot of people, don't never judge nobody when they say, can I talk to you? Because you never know what they're going to say, what they're going to, especially as young black men. There's a lot of it out here. I've been in the funeral home business for 2 years. I've been doing funerals for a long time. But being in the funeral business, I've seen these young black men take their lives because they don't have that mentor. And it's so freaking sad. It's a sad thing. It's even worse when you wish you was there to talk to that person. I had 2 sons here. My oldest son tried to commit suicide. My oldest son tried to commit suicide some years ago. But when I came, I was outside washing my car, and I said, "Mom, come here." So I got this guy, so I'm gonna talk. So I opened up the door. So first of all, where you going? I said, "No, come here and talk to me." He was upset because his first job he had as a 19-year-old, they fired him. Because you know how they want somebody else in the job and they try to they made a story. But they got him, so he was in the street. But he ended up taking some pills, some clear pills, some stuff that make you lose weight. I said, you're gonna be a skinny, clear face dude. So
you know what?
But the point that but like I told him, if you need somebody to talk to, I'm here. Okay?
Right.
Trust me. It's a time to where you want to talk. Don't think there's nobody to talk. I'm not here to talk. You have other uncles, you have other friends. I said, but right now, I'm not dead. I'm not in jail. I'm not overseas. I'm here in this house. Please talk to me. And I tell it to anybody. When I bolted with there and bolting out, they said, how we pray. They said, you talk to people like you know them. I said, man, I can tell you, I can join on anybody I want to. And I would be your best friend later on down the line because I like to help people. That's what I'm here for. People say, well, you should be a motivator, you should be a recruiter. No, it's just that I've learned to talk. I know what people go to. I ain't got to know you. I can read you and talk to you and go from there. But as black men, we need to open up more and not keep our feelings so deep inside because we got so much stuff deep inside of us. Yeah, we hurt inside because we hurt from jobs, we hurt from women, we hurt from family. And those 3 things will put a man down so bad. He feels as though I don't have nothing else to live.
I think, Fowler, I think that Skywalker wants to like comment on everything that you said. Because look, he been over here breathing, collecting air in his chest, just like
collecting air. Yeah.
Because I think you resonated. I think what you were saying resonated with him. So.
Talk to me, Skywalker. Talk to me.
Yeah. Hey, thank you so much, Hollywood. I can't believe you're calling yourself Hollywood now, but thank you, Fowler.
Hey,
okay.
Stop it.
Are you okay, Skywalker?
Skywalker, you good?
Yeah, man. I when he said that, there's a lot of voices that I've heard those stories before, man. He's not lying.
I want a potato and a chicken.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So thank you so
much
for
calling in and telling and giving us that story, and also signs to look for. Man, we really appreciate that, Hollywood.
There's something that I wanna say to y'all, to the men on the panel, and to the men that are out there listening. We love y'all. Absolutely. And we love you wholeheartedly with everything within us. And it's okay to feel. I think the biggest thing is that our black men don't think that it's okay to feel. And not only is it okay to feel, but it's okay to express those feelings in a healthy manner. We got to get to that point. Yeah. I don't know how, but I just want to let you guys know that
gentlemen,
we can I accept you guys and your feelings 100%. So whatever y'all got going on, you can always talk to me. Just, I'm a listen and try to give you some advice as well. But it is okay for you to feel, and it is okay for you to express those feelings. And we love you.
Yes, we do. And let's go ahead and say that as a community in general, we need to get okay with feelings, all of us.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, if Black women and Black men make it a safe space to have emotions,
Yes.
then that's when we
Yes.
can actually come together. Because Black men want to go home and talk to their woman, but their woman's got so many emotions, and she's like, I can't talk to you about my emotions, because he's like, I've been cutting my emotions off, so nobody is communicating, everybody's acting out of trauma, and nobody actually wants to sit down and be like, your emotions are valid. It's okay for you to be pissed off. In fact, it's okay if you want to be pissed off at me until you find out what the real issue is. And I'm going to hold space for your big emotions right now. I think that's one of the largest issues right there.
Right.
Let's go ahead
And I
and be
need our
okay
women.
as a community.
Yeah.
Right. I need our women to make it a safe space. Stop with the punk ass and get your bitch ass out of here. And he's coming over because he feels like he wants to express himself. And now you are using it against him. That is not fair. That is not right. And that can be detrimental to someone.
It really can.
So I
It
need
really
you
can be.
to listen to me. I promise I've done it before, and I know that it affects these men, and these are the results that we get. They bottle everything up, and then we have situations where you come home and they're no longer with us.
Yeah.
We have to give them a safe space to be able to express themselves and feel comfortable, and not use the shit against them when you get into an argument. You're gonna have to find a better tactic.
Ooh, child.
I cried with mine. We literally sat there and cried before his attempt, and I talked to him. I said, I understand that your person is not here, but you are my person. Don't do it. Think about your family. Think about your daughter. Think about your friends. Think about you. It ain't worth it. You're going to leave behind a lot of hurt people, and they're all going to be wondering why you did it. Don't do it. So yeah, it was a lot of heart to heart before the attempt. So yeah, it really was.
I promise y'all, every time we do a show, I just feel like something on the inside, like a healing each time.
I'm sorry, Hollywood. What did you say?
I'm sorry. You opened up my screen. Who's the name of the body? Sister Empowerment.
AP.
But you know what else is crazy? And I think what as men, Black women, whoever, Black men, we like to hear certain things, like how was your day? You know, what's going on? Something comfortable. I mean, you want to do this together. You know, would you like to eat? You know, is it okay? I mean, let's talk about your day. We want to hear comfortable things. We want to be comfortable. We want to be.
Yeah.
You know, we have that emotion thing, but a lot of Black men don't get that.
Oh no.
I believe that, because just like we want to hear it, they want to hear it too.
Yeah. And I think we also just, oh Lord, oh no, her microphone.
I see.
Oh
yeah.
I think that we all want to be comfortable, but just realize that sometimes with comfortability, also we have to make space for the stuff that's hard too. And that's where, it's like just be able to have those moments. You're muted too, Ma. You're muted.
You're gonna have to be uncomfortable to be comfortable.
Yep, exactly. I like that.
Uncomfortable. Yeah, you're gonna have to go through those uncomfortable moments to get to the comfortability. And it's hard. It's really hard. I mean, I've been in several different relationships. It is hard to empathize and be sympathetic towards somebody when you feel like you're not getting what you want, and you're also going with day-to-day stresses. But this is something that we're gonna have to practice, because we are wearing each other down as a community, and it's not fair. We beat our Black men down so bad. We beat them down so bad.
Come on.
And we need to
which is why I want to encourage the brothers, like I was saying before, writing. If not writing, you're like, man, hey man, my pen ain't all that good. Record yourself. It's about seeing yourself. You don't feel seen. So you need to see you. if no one else sees you, you need to see you first, right?
Amen.
Organize the stuff first, capture it first, look at it, and then share, because you're still trying to figure it out, and figuring out with that person right there, that person may not have the patience for you. So a lot of brothers are aware of that ahead of time, like, yeah, I do this, but I know I'm not going to get the same in return. I know I'm not going to get it, and I'm okay with that. But I still need help. So how do I compensate if I know I'm not going to get that from my circle? It's not even a matter of will. Some people are they just don't have the ability to do that. And it's just everybody's relying on you, right? So for the brothers out there, record yourself, document yourself. For me, it was writing. For me, it was writing, and
definitely that's a good thing.
Right. And
go ahead,
again,
I'm sorry.
The paper and the video does not judge. If you turn on that camera and you just, now I'm not saying do a suicide note. I'm just saying talk to that camera like you're talking to somebody that really cares about you, which is going to be you, by the way. It's going to be you. Yeah. Right.
Yep,
and
that's what I do.
It's non-judgmentally. Like there's just something about knowing that, all right, this camera is not going to talk back to me. Nobody else can hear me. This is my own self-therapy session. So to the brothers out there, if you're looking for that pathway, before you even feel like sharing it to your wife, your girlfriend, your side chick, your mom, whoever, record yourself, document yourself first, look at it by yourself first, right? And say, that's me. All right. And then decide when you're ready to share. And that will do most of the talking for you before you even have to say anything.
Right.
A lot of times you can just say, hey, I need you to read something, and I need you to read it with non-judgmental, like just say what you need first. Give them the opportunity first. And then you could be like, well, hey, I told you to do this. Hey, well, you can't fault me for, hey, I told you what I needed.
With no feedback.
And there it was. So maybe you could take it to somebody else.
Journaling is the best. Yeah, journaling is definitely, I all day. All day long, and I'm lucky I get to work from home, so I get to be therapeutic, and I've gotten a lot of work done mentally. But journal, and they'll tell you that is the best release. It's to journal. So John is 100% right, and men
it's not always going to work.
To put that pen to that paper.
Yeah, I will say there is a caveat. You know, there are limitations to journaling, but it's a great start. Just getting started with just seeing what's going on in there. That's like the first part, is just being aware that, hey, I'm not okay, and this is what my not okay looks like.
Right.
And if you don't want to necessarily write it down, because if you're ADHD like me, I'm like me trying to put pen to actual paper, I'm like, I don't want to do that. Do some audio journals. Just speak on it. Just record yourself. Do a video. Or if you don't want to see yourself, literally just record audio. And then with and that right there, that'll help you out. Oh my goodness. I'm like, what is she saying? She's giving these pearls, and we can't even hear you, ma'am. Right. We can't hear none of it. None of it. The microphone
that's definitely a great
nothing.
idea though, John. That to suggest, because I know it helps me 100%, because it's stuff that I don't want to discuss with people. My bones, sometimes I don't want to be vulnerable. There's things deep down inside of me that I cannot be vulnerable with other people, because I'm worried about judgment. I don't want to be a fool. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be that. But if I write it down and sort through it, I don't have to worry about that.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Yes, we can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know, we thought we was gonna do an hour show today.
Yeah, we tried.
We really did try.
Listen.
It didn't.
Listen.
You guys listen to my story.
I appreciate you calling in and telling us your story.
Yeah, bro.
No.
End up doing something else,
no, we're
catch you guys like. Go ahead.
We're only live on Tuesdays.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, probably was.
Now we'll drop a preview. We're gonna start dropping previews on Sunday, but it's only like a 10-minute clip.
We may have to get back on later on this week to do that 10-minute clip
Yeah.
because we literally are. Yeah, we had an hour and 40 minutes, and we try to keep it. We tried, but when it gets good, it gets good.
It
Yeah,
does, man.
yeah. This was really
With that
good.
being
This was
said,
very, very pure.
all right. Thank you so much, Hollywood, and we hope we see you back next week.
Hi, Allie.
All right.
Follow.
And now I know don't call. Look, Maggie's the one that called on Sunday. She said,
Yeah.
now I know don't call on Sunday.
I answered the phone.
But at least we
I
know
was like,
that. At least we
hey.
know you was watching.
Yeah.
She called on Sunday. Oh, I love it. I love it. That's my girl,
answered the
Maggie.
phone. We talked for a little bit. I was like, hey, yeah, we're not live right now. So, yeah.
Oh,
My
John,
God.
you good down there?
I'm good.
I think we all absorbed a lot of good information. I'm talking about we all. I think I felt all of this in my spirit. I will tell you that.
we love you too, Maggie May.
I'm glad we talked about this.
I love you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad that he was able to give us signs to look for when a man is when he's not verbal with how he is feeling. And if you are noticing something different with your mate, oh, that's my daughter coming home. Check in with them, find out how they doing, what's going on with them, and if they are going through something, listen.
Yeah.
Listen to them. Don't be so quick to judge. In the beginning with my friend, I understood exactly where he was coming from, and I believed him all the way up until the act. So yeah,
good.
We'll talk about the other half a little later. But I want to thank everyone for jumping in on tonight's live. I want to thank everyone who called in. I want to thank all the comments. We really did try to keep it under an hour tonight. We were doing good, and then Alan called in, and bam, here we are. I'm not complaining, though. Alan. Thank you for calling. Next week, I think we're going to tackle PTSD.
Ooh.
This is Mental Health Awareness Month. So, PTSD is something that is going undiagnosed. And yeah, if you live in the hood, you can have PTSD just by watching the police rough up other people that look just like you.
Life. Man.
Let's talk about complex PTSD and combat PTSD.
We're definitely going to hit on that next week. With that being said, thank you to everyone. John, you got me?
Yes. All right, y'all. See y'all next week. And keep an eye out for our preview, all right? Keep an eye out for our preview, all right? Salute.
Yep.